Breath of the Wild, to some, is the greatest Zelda game to date, offering more freedom and player choice than any game we've ever seen. And Tears of the Kingdom is going to blow it out of the water. Now, whether or not you believe Breath of the Wild was a good Zelda game, it was still without a doubt the first to go back to the series' roots and offer absolute freedom and exploration on a scale that we've never seen before. I mean, part of the reason it got all the praise it did was due to the fact that it broke the linear conventions of the series that they had set up all the way back in Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time. Either way, Breath of the Wild was considered to be a revolutionary title by the entire gaming community. But that leaves a lot of people worried that Tears of the Kingdom won't live up to those same expectations. And they're right. Hold on, allow me to explain. Tears of the Kingdom will not live up to the infamy that Breath of the Wild received because it's simply not possible. See, Breath of the Wild broke the conventions the entire series is known for, and Tears of the Kingdom simply won't do that. Or rather, I should say it can't possibly do that. Because it's a sequel, it literally has to use the same engine as Breath of the Wild, meaning it's going to follow along with the same conventions Breath of the Wild brought to the table. Now, does that mean I think that Tears of the Kingdom will be a joke or never live up to its predecessors? No. Not at all, actually. In fact, I believe that this game will be much better than Breath of the Wild, as they've actually had time to build a game where the dungeons aren't all the same, to flesh out the entire world and spend time on world building and make the side quests mean something. They didn't do that in Breath of the Wild, though they didn't really have the time. In fact, during development, most of the time was spent on building the engine. Not to mention the art design, the characters, the map. All of that took so long that it definitely hindered what they were able to do with Breath of the Wild. But Tears of the Kingdom? Well, that's a different story. See, they started with an engine. They started with characters and art design. They started with a map, and not just any map. This guy! This thing is huge! And I don't mean to be hyperbolic when I say this, but literally, they've had everything they need to make a great game right from the get-go. And how long have they spent on this game? Oh, let me check. We carry the one, I did. Oh, 6 years! That's as long as Breath of the Wild! So with all the time that they've spent on this, you know this is gonna be a good game. But just because I think it'll be better, doesn't mean I think it's gonna launch to the critical acclaim that Breath of the Wild had. Now, I'm under the personal belief that Majora's Mask was actually better than Ocarina of Time, but it didn't receive even half the love that Ocarina did. Quite the opposite, in fact. People actually hated that game at first, and it wasn't until years later that people actually claimed it as their favorite. I mean, I wasn't guilty of doing that, but shut up. Either way, this game will be incredible, but upon release, it might not get the love and praise of its predecessor, so just know that it will age like a fine wine, and I'm pretty sure about that. Most Zelda games do. Of course, I could be completely wrong, and honestly, I hope I am. I hope that it does release to some critical acclaim and is loved by everybody. Either way, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of you. Oh, and be sure to like and subscribe for more content like this.